Good afternoon, my Real News Midday TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update. And in the news this afternoon, boxer slapped with a murder and a shooting charges. An aspiring boxer has been slapped with several charges in connection with the killing of a man and the injuring of 3 others at a gaming lounge in Kingston. The incident reportedly occurred at the Roulette Gaming Lounge at the corner of Terroir Crescent and the Spanish Town Road in Kingston 13 in June. Charged is 32-year-old Samuel Grant, otherwise called Obi, a boxer from Benchley Lane in Kingston 13. Grant is charged with murder, 3 counts of wounding with intent, possession of a prohibited weapon, unauthorized possession of ammunition, and making use of a firearm to commit a felony. Grant is charged for the killing of 48-year-old Marvin Gordon from Rollington Town in Kingston. In that incident, 3 other men, ages 34, 56, and 35, were shot and injured. Reports were that around 10 p.m. on Friday, June 21, 2024, the 4 were inside the bar, among other people, when 2 men armed with guns entered and opened fire at them. When the shooting subsided, all 4 were found suffering from what appeared to be gunshot wounds. The gunmen made their escape on a motorcycle in the area. Residents assisted the injured to the Kingston Public Hospital, where doctors pronounced Gordon, who was shot in the chest, dead on arrival, and admitted the other 3. Grant turned himself over to the Kingston Central Police. He was charged on Saturday after a question and answer interview. 2 Manchester GPs decommissioned. A former high school teacher and a businessman have been decommissioned as the justices of the peace in Manchester after being accused of charging fees for the voluntary service. Custos of Manchester, Garfield Green, said the 2 men were brought before an ethics committee in recent weeks following 2 years of accusations against them. Section 15 of the JP Act speaks of offering JP services free of charge to the community members, and it is totally forbidden for JPs to be charged for JP services. I have received numerous complaints over the past 2 years about the same 2 people who I had warned because we never had hard evidence. I had warned both of them, said Green. I received more complaints as they continued this year, and I was able to get some evidence against them. They were investigated and as a result will be removed from the office of JP, added Green. He accused the 2 JPs of arranging their services as a business venture. It seems as if people set it up as a business and they use the opportunity to charge people who they can easily influence to pay, people who they think can pay without questioning. There are instances where recommendations were written for persons who they did not know, the Custos explained. We brought them before the ethics committee at my office that deals with all complaints against the justices of the peace, and recommendations were made against both of them to have them decommissioned, he said, while adding that he previously removed 2 JPs for charging for their services. Green said the men are ages 46 and 44 and were commissioned as JPs in recent years. In this case, I asked them to turn in their certificates of the instrument of office. They are 2 young people. One of them was commissioned as a young JP in recent times by me. The other was commissioned by the previous Custos. One of them was commissioned in 2015, he said. The other was commissioned in 2021. Custos Green, meanwhile, suggested that the decommissioned JPs should face sanctions. There should be something that deters them from doing it, he said. I spoke to Minister Delroy Chuck about it. As it stands now, if JPs charge for their service, they can only be removed from office as it is not a criminal offense. However, if a JP writes a recommendation for someone he does not know, it is considered a criminal offense and the police can get involved and charge the JP, he explained. It is a voluntary service, but some people, once they are in, they start complaining that it is costing them too much, it is taking up too much of their time. And I have said to some of them, if it is taking up too much of your time and it is costing you, resign, added Green. He reiterated that the service is voluntary and the JPs should resign if they cannot manage their role. You can resign as a justice of the peace. Give it up. Give it up. Don't force yourself to continue. No one is forcing you to be a justice of the peace. It is something that you step forward to do, and you can also step back from doing it, he said. I wouldn't say they are extorting the money because people agree to pay them, either because the people are desperate or they don't know them and they pay them to do something. In that case, it really should be a criminal offense because you are writing a recommendation for someone who you don't know. You don't know the character of the person. You don't know what they are going to use the recommendations for. You don't know if they are going to get a driver's license under a different name, added Green. Mom of 20-year-old soldier slain in Denhamtown seeks answers. The mother of Private E.J. Domville is hoping that today's autopsy will begin to provide answers to the myriad of questions swirling around in her head since the 20-year-old was shot dead while on duty in Denhamtown, Kingston last Friday. I'm not getting any full concrete answers, Kalisha Reynolds told the news on Tuesday in her first interview since the tragedy on August 23. The mother of two said that the young soldier, who was assigned to the Zone of Special Operations in the Western Kingston-based community, was her life and the breadwinner. The past few days, she added, have been very difficult. I called my son about 11:30 Thursday night. A video called him and the line open. It was very quiet. Me say, Papa, answer mommy now. Mommy love you. And me a kiss him because it's a routine thing. Me a say, why am not answering the line open? Reynolds said. She disclosed that she retired to bed but was awakened by a phone call about 1:30 a.m. from a friend who said that she heard that a soldier had been shot in Denhamtown and it sounded like it was Domville. Me jump out of my bed and reach back at the shop. When I reached, a lot of soldiers came. They said, your son died in the line of duty and that me can't see my son. I went to Tranquility Funeral Home Friday or Saturday and they said I cannot see him because he was already identified. I said, who identified my son? Today is Tuesday and I still don't see my son. A grieving Reynolds said, adding that the Jamaica Defense Force informed her that she would be picked up when it was time for the autopsy. Why I must wait until the autopsy? Reynolds quizzed. Reports are that about 1:25 a.m. on Friday, Domville was part of a team that was on foot patrol in Denhamtown when he was shot in the vicinity of Charles Street and Chestnut Lane. He was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. Though information remains sketchy, Reynolds has her own theory of what transpired and does not believe her son died in a shootout with the criminals. I don't believe there was a shootout. I don't care how they tell me my son died in the line of duty and about the system change, Reynolds said. If it was a gunman kill my son, why is it Denhamtown don't lock down properly? Why people not getting interrogated? People even keep candlelight vigil in Denhamtown for my son. So is war going down there? Gunman kill my son and people keep candlelight? She asked. Reynolds said the JDF has also not been upfront with her, only providing words of sympathy and assigning someone to plan the soldier's funeral. Me no want hear that. Me no want hear about no gun salute and fandangles and bury a upper camp and them responsible for this and that. Me no want hear that. Me want know what happened to my picnic, she told the news. The mother said she visited the checkpoint in Denhamtown on several occasions and could not understand why no senior soldiers were posted there. No senior soldier no day, a pure 19 and 20-year-old. My son get shot in his face or head and no helmet and pure cloth hat. I go there a lot of time and look for my son, drop off things for my son, and a cloth hat me see them in and them a picnic same way. So somebody must always be there to direct them, worst at night, Reynolds said, adding she had been actively pursuing a transfer for her son for more than a month. She said her son had also sought a transfer. With a heavy grief to bear, she has withdrawn herself from social media, especially TikTok. Every skip you skip at him, me not really have the energy to scroll through and look. It just a kill me. It killing me because me only a hear say my son dead. Why me can't see my son? See man say, yes, I'm my son. And my picnic this, she said. Reynolds told the news that Domville had always harbored dreams of becoming a soldier, but upon enlisting, it was not as he anticipated. When training finished and him get in, him say, Mommy, I know what me expected, Mommy. Just last week, me say me go call up a camp because how a 20-year-old to work all 100 and odd hours and no sleep? How them gonna work properly without sleep? You can't think properly. Your body and brain tired, Reynolds said. Despite the shortcomings, Reynolds said Domville loved his work. "I'm brave, I'm magnificent, I'm marvelous, I'm joyous, compassionate. He was everything to me," she said. "My son of my life, my son of me everything. My son make me smile. Him and me everything. Him and me breadwinner, everything." Up to press time last night, the news was unable to make contact with the JDF's Civil Military Corporation and the Media Affairs Department, as all calls went unanswered. Last Friday, Lieutenant Colonel Carl Clark, the acting brigade commander of the Jamaica Regiment, responsible for deployments across the island in support of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, expressed regret over Domville's death during a media briefing. The death is being investigated by the JCF. Guys, thank you for watching. See you this evening at 6 p.m. for another news update.